Gene Simmons Asshole, caramelized pizza, and crazy-ass bitches. I never in a million years thought I'd be able to take those three phrases and put them together, and today I was able to pull it off, and some of it we'll talk about, and some of it we won't talk about live on podcast. I don't know why I did that. Today on Podcast Rock City Live.
Podcast Rock City.
What's up, everybody? Joe here from Podcast Rock City, and with me this week, Sonny Hollywood Booty.
That was great. I was going to say we have a whole episode titled for our Joey Casada, and he's not here.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so obviously you guys know today we're going to talk about Gene Simmons' Asshole, and every time I say that, it's really kind of screwed up. The record, yes. But you know, before we do that, we got a few other things to talk about. But before, look, I always try to have some fun with you know, whoever's on the show. It's usually Sonny and Lee, and Joey can get here often. But here's my question. Today I'm watching a commercial, and they're talking about Little Caesars Pizza. Do you have Little Caesars where you're at?
Yeah, Little Caesars is everywhere.
Well, I don't know. I you know, it's just like White Castle is up north and Crystal is down south. You know, it's like do you have White Castle?
Yes.
You don't have Crystal though.
No, I don't know what that is.
It's like a White Castle. It's like a small little hamburger. Okay, so anyway, I'm watching the commercial and they're talking about caramelized crust. Now, here's my thing. Isn't that just mean toasted or burnt? I mean, isn't that like...
I don't know. If it's got a little sugar on it and it's melted sugar on the crust, that would be caramelized.
Well, you know, okay, but I don't think that's what that is. Caramelized is like when you get the pizza that comes in a pan, you know, around the outside of the edge, it gets like crispy.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying is caramelized.
Oh,
I'm like,
I didn't know that's what that was.
To me, that just means it's a fancy word for toasted.
Well, yeah, whatever.
It's bothering me. Hello to everybody. There's Karen. Hi, Karen. She's literally upstairs. That never happens. It's good to see you guys today. Thank you all for joining us. Joey may be here in a little while. Lee is tending to her parents. From what I understand, everything is fine, so you don't have to worry about Lee. Let's see. There's some news. You know, it kind of hit us today, didn't it? Let's go ahead and get to the news.
Podcast Rock City News.
So, a couple of things I want to bring up. One, if you're a Kiss collector, right now they are having a sale on Paul Stanley Smash guitars. I had no idea that they don't sell, like he smashes a show, you know. But if you go online, they're I guess they're having a pretty big sale. I saw it online. They have a whole bunch of different tours were the guitars that never got bought. They just stored them away and wait.
I thought he used to hand it out. Remember, he used to throw them out.
See, he used to do that, but my understanding is that somewhere before somebody suggested you should sell these, he always did throw them out. But my understanding, and I believe it to be true because I heard it from the right person, he got in trouble, or the band got in trouble because two people fought over it, and apparently somebody grabbed the strings and wrapped their hand around them and pulled while somebody pulled the neck, and their hand got hurt. Now, this could be not true. I believe it to be true, but somebody out there will let me know the truth. Besides that, I mean, somebody got smart and went to Paul and said, why do you give these things away? You should be. I would rather have one that was given away than the one that bought. But if I had the choice of never having one or getting a real smash guitar, that'd be kind of cool. So if you guys, I think it's paulstanleyguitars.com. Go check it out there. I mean, I think if you buy them, they're like $5,000, and it's way less right now. So you could get them. It gets autographed and sent to you, and you can pick the place. They have them from the cruises. They have them from most of the tours that he, had been selling them. The other thing is, there was this cryptic message today. Sonny and I have been talking about it with the other people. Oh, I just opened up my text message and see that girl that's your style in the picture. Is that really your kind of woman?
Oh yeah, that's part of Gene's album cover.
No, I see it. Anyway, yikes. Okay, so there was we all got it in our email today. It says, Kiss World, something's coming tomorrow. Hey Kiss fans, we've got something epic coming tomorrow, Monday the 14th. Now, of course, Epic is the name of the company that sells all their stuff, that does their merch. That might be something. It's only going to be available 24 hours. So we wanted to give you a heads up so you don't miss it. Keep an eye out. I think it's going to be some big sale, like a flash sale. If that's the case, great. Go buy some Kiss stuff. I like the coffee mugs. I have a bunch of them.
But why would Aerosmith put the same thing out then?
Same company, maybe.
Oh, they're having a flash sale too.
Maybe. Once again, I don't have a clue. I'm going by what I've seen other people mention online.
So basically, anybody's in business with Epic, their fan base got an email with that specific band's thing saying there's a sale tomorrow.
Maybe.
That would make sense, I guess.
It would. Hello to everybody out there that's watching with us. We love you guys. Thank you very much. We're gonna have an interesting conversation today, but I was really hoping that since it was going to be 24 hours, that it would have been something special. But I guess a sale is special. It's not, the special that you want, but if you're a collector, you go ahead and you could save some money or maybe buy some stuff. It's basically like 2 weeks early of a Black Friday, you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I doubt it's anything new. My initial thought was maybe it was off the soundboard from the tour they did together. Right?
Right, yeah.
Aerosmith's dropping theirs the same day Kiss is dropping theirs kind of thing.
Right.
But that was that tour where Aerosmith did all that Bobo songs. It was bad.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Aerosmith. I know a little bit, a lot of the hits I know, but what's it? Is it Honkin' for Bobo? Or
yeah.
Is that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The smash sale or flash sale or whatever, that probably makes the most amount of sense. If they're working with the same companies, okay, then that makes the most amount of sense.
Right. Okay, so I guess we'll just wait till tomorrow. It's Epic, and like I said, somebody online pointed out Somebody wrote 50th anniversary joint tour or dates. My understanding is these people don't like each other anymore. And although they would make money, they don't need each other for that. Aerosmith does not need Kiss to go on the road to make a lot of money, and Kiss doesn't need Aerosmith. Agree or no?
I agree to a point. I agree Aerosmith does not need Kiss. I'm not sure I agree that Kiss does not need Aerosmith.
Yeah, but I mean, Kiss is. I mean, they're doing fine, right?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I mean, it goes to bigger theaters / arenas.
Kiss and Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Well, but why would it only last one day? That's the other thing.
Yeah. That part's weird. Yeah,
that part.
Weird.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
somebody said, somebody texted me, "Oh, they're going to announce the residency." Well, why would that only last one day? That makes no sense.
Maybe tickets to get it. I don't know. I definitely not discounted creatures box, Mr. Donnelly. You can already do that on Amazon.com. Go there. Okay. So we'll wait until tomorrow, and then whatever it is, we'll make fun of it next week on the show. We're getting close to the 400th show. We still are like I don't remember what I think today is episode 395. We got 5 weeks till that show comes out. Still don't have a clue what we're gonna do.
Hey, we're going to talk about Loomis.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's talk about that. A couple videos came out, right?
Yeah, no audio, right?
No
Houston
audio.
77. Sure, no. Like, who watches normal videos with no audio? Notice I said normal videos, right? There are some videos out there I watch that don't need sound, but these are not videos I watch.
Yes.
These need sound.
Do you watch them holding your phone with your right hand?
No, got to put it on the big TV.
Really? Oh,
but
I guess I'm unique.
And then they were only on YouTube for a day, and then the channel got taken down again.
Right. Yes. It was up and it was down. But this time, I don't remember it saying that it was taken down by a specific person. It was removed by the person that started the thing, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what? Sinking Stanley's right. I forgot about that because in the Richard Marx interview that Paul does, remember Richard said, "Oh man, Steven Tyler still sounds like he used to back in the day." And remember, Paul was so uncomfortable. He goes, "Next subject, please," or something like that. So I forgot. They don't like each other.
They don't like each other. Yeah.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah, so it's got to be something else. Before we go on, you guys out there, subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel, if you haven't already. And also, if you're watching right now, and it says there's a bunch of you on here, click the like button, the thumbs up button. Go ahead and just click it. If you're on Facebook, click the like button. If you're on YouTube, click the thumbs up. And subscribe. And once you hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell. It'll let you know every time we put something online. This way you don't miss anything. And man, I sound like a young person.
Not that young.
Not that young. All right. So we're going to go ahead and talk about Gene Simmons' asshole. So let's go. The record. Let's go ahead and get to the topic of the week.
Pop.
This is going to sound really weird, but I love Gene Simmons' asshole, and we're going to talk about it, the record. We're going to talk about it. And I did a little bit of research, which is something that I never do. And because, this is mostly opinion-driven Kiss podcast. If you want a lot of details, there are other ones you could go to. But we really pick a subject and kind of just talk about what we think. And you guys know that already. You could today's topic came from a viewer / listener. I wanted to, it's always good to give people credit. Johnny Mambo. Johnny loves Mambo. Isn't that a song?
I don't think so, but Johnny, I owe you one.
Oh, yeah. Johnny was basically like, hey, why don't you guys, have you ever talked about asshole? And I was like,
well, yeah.
Yeah, we certainly
Before
have.
we record.
Yeah. We never recorded. And look, and just so you know, Joey and Lee didn't want to talk about it. They bailed. No, I'm
That's
kidding.
right. That's exactly what happened.
That's not what happened. Anyway, so we're going to talk about it. I did a little bit of research, and that'll come up a little later. But okay, so I'm going to tell you what I think about this record, okay? And Sonny, you go ahead and tell me what you think of what I say, okay?
All right.
This record, Gene Simmons, he was not concerned about making Kiss fans happy with this record. I don't think for a second he thought, I'm going to make the record every Kiss fan wants. I think that he thought, I'm going to make the record that I want to do. And some people will buy it and some people won't buy it. But he did that with his first solo album. And that's why you get such a bizarre first solo album. Everybody was shocked by that, you know? The first time you hear that solo album, you're like, I don't get it. It's not Gene Simmons. That's what everybody wanted. That's why his album was bought first, basically. And then once people were shocked by that, that's when it became harder to sell the other records. Had every one of them sounded like, if Gene would have had 10 God of Thunders, Paul did what Paul does, Ace does what Ace does. If Peter would have had 10 Beth / Hooligan, or, pick any of his songs that actually rocked with Kiss, they would have sold much better. Agree?
Agreed. And they would have, they probably would have been revered in Kiss history better.
Right.
Right. Instead, you got people choosing sides.
Right. Which is true. But this record, now you have to know my background. My background, I'm an MTV kid, like a lot of people. But I really love pop music, and I really love it when musicians that I'm used to hearing a specific way, like, take a chance and try something different. I give it a shot. Paul Stanley's solo album was not at all a risk for Paul Stanley. Neither was Live to Win. There's no risk in there. Paul Stanley, those songs on Live to Win, they don't sound like Kiss, but Kiss could play them. They're but Gene, he took a risk. He went, look, Peter Criss wants to do a solo album. He wants to leave the band and do a solo album. Ace wants to leave the band and do a solo album. And that wasn't to do a solo album where you could sound like Kiss. They wanted to do their own thing. So did Gene once he got permission. Agree?
Agree. Once he got a name and he didn't have to worry about the sales, yeah.
Right. Because it was all, by them putting the word Kiss on there, that was sneaky, I think. Each one said Kiss on it, even though they're not playing on it together, But the Asshole album, I think, was Gene really wanting the opportunity to be a little more artistic than what he does with Kiss. What he does with Kiss is way more straightforward rock than what you hear on the Asshole album. There is straightforward rock on it, but there's also some kind of poppy stuff. So I come from a musical background as far as what I love. I love the pop. I love pop music. I can put pop music on every day. I try to find pop music. I have Lady Gaga on vinyl. I have like so many different pop albums on vinyl, and that's basically, you take away the hard rock stuff. Gene put out a hippie pop album. I don't know. What do you think?
So I am also an MTV kid. I also love pop music. I could listen to pop music all day. Some of my favorite bands and artists of all time are pop artists. I love the boy bands, right? Like, so there is a lot of different music that I like where we absolutely differ. Unless they are artists to me that started in a way where they were kind of doing everything. So I'll give you an example. Prince, Jeff Scott Soto, Richie Kotzen, they make it hard for you to be a fan because they dabble in everything. But they've done that since day one. It was never just one thing, and that's the only thing, and now we're doing something different, right? Pretty much from day one, from maybe not day one, but from when they got established, they had their hands in a lot of different things, and you always heard the rock voice, though, even if it was a ballad or whatever it might be. You always heard Prince's voice, whether it was a rock song, R&B, or whatever. I am not a fan of established bands doing albums that don't match what they normally do, because I get that from other places. I don't go to White Castle to buy chicken. I just don't. I get chicken at other places. If White Castle started selling chicken, I wouldn't get chicken at White Castle because I like KFC.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Now, but here's the thing. If Gene Simmons would have just put out a hard rock album, that would have been a little easier, right? So do you think that he, by doing what he did, took on a challenge? Hey, this is, I also like to write this kind of music. I'm going to take on that challenge and put out not only, because there's a few rock songs on here, but it's like he took on a challenge, I believe.
I don't disagree with that, but then you have to be okay with people criticizing it.
Oh yeah,
because you're not going to hit all the time, right? Like there's a pop song on here that I absolutely love, and then the very next pop song I absolutely hate because it's like that doesn't work. That worked, that doesn't. But the guy could sell anything at that time. It was 2002. He's right. Gene Simmons. He got shit. I bought the record. I knew what I was getting into. The minute I heard it was getting released, I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Right. And I never feel that way about when Paul releases something because I know what we're going to get from Paul. Right. And pretty much you know what you're going to get with Ace. Ace is basically, just kind of love it or hate it. It's never going to be Rocket Ride. Basically, that's just all there is to it. But as soon as I heard this was getting released, I'm like, oh, this is going to be bad.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, are you an AC/DC fan?
Yes.
Would you have, you never wanted to see, you always want to buy that same record? They put out the same record every time. I know I'm going to get hate for that. Podcast Rock City 1. That's the number one. At gmail.com. You can tell me that all the records sound the same, and that's fine, but the formula is the same. How about that? They never really take a chance, or maybe they do, and I like to think I've listened to every AC/DC song, and I always have an understanding of what I'm going to get when it comes out, but I've never gone, whoa, that was different.
Yeah, AC/DC has a formula. Like you said, you're going to get hate mail for AC/DC sounding the same. I don't think so. Because Angus Young himself has said, like he was in an interview once and somebody said, hey, what do you tell people when they say, look, the last 5 or 6 AC/DC songs or albums kind of sound the same? Angus's answer was, I tell that person, would you just start listening? We've been sounding the same since 1973. Right? So he's purposely doing that. I'm fine with it. Do I connect with the last 4 or 5 AC/DC records? No. I hear it, I go, all right, they're still there. And, the stuff that I heard in my youth, in my 30s, I connect to that better than the stuff that I connect to newer, but it made me go older. And I like more Bon Scott stuff now than I probably do Brian Johnson stuff, just because I like the grittier vocal and Bon Scott can sell the sexy, right? And I didn't realize AC/DC was kind of trying to sell the sexy with the old guy, you know, Brian Johnson. Feels like he's been a grandpa since he was 22 years old.
You know, I saw them in concert. It was King's X and AC/DC. I don't remember the tour. I had Fifth Row, and it was funny. Every time he took his hat off, you know, he wears that like,
yeah.
Every time he took it off, I was so close. I would see him banging it. He would takes it off and he bangs it against his leg. Then he puts it. He probably did that 50 times, and I started to notice that every time he did it, like dust would go. Poof. It was like you ever see the Road Runner like take off?
Yeah.
It's like that's what it reminded me of. Anyway, but that's the thing. If you go to AC/DC, you get AC/DC, but they never stepped out of a box. They stayed in this box. So this is basically the argument that everybody has. You know, some people, I guess, would have just loved a full rock album. If he would have done that, you feel like it would have done better.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if it would have done better. It would have made me happier. I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea if it would have done better. And reality is he didn't care about that anyway.
No.
Right? But nobody's going to listen to this album and say, I want to go check out Kiss. Like if somebody comes across this and says, oh, that's the guy from Kiss, I should go check out Kiss. No way. They're not going to do that. Not from this.
No, that's true. That's true. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about let's go ahead and talk about the songs. Artists. One of them, there's a few on here, man, that here's the truth. I'm not gonna lie. I adore this record. I could put it on anytime, and it's just something different than what I'm used to. Not you could put anybody's name on it. It's just so different from, you know, it's just so different that I love it. So, let's see. Gene, I had it here a second ago. Gene Simmons, Asshole. There we go. Sweet and Dirty Love, hard rock right out the gate. You hear, okay, for a person that's a Gene Simmons / Kiss fan, if this is the song they hear to start off the record, they're excited.
Absolutely, because you got a great riff. Gene sounds great. It's upbeat. I love it when Gene mixes in the talking. Could have easily been a Kiss song. The backing vocals, hell, you got to listen close because it almost sounds like Paul's doing part of the backing vocals.
Okay, now
but he's not credited.
My sweet dirty love, that part there. It does sound like Paul Stanley. I've always thought that, and I'll tell you this: I'm not sure that it ain't.
I think it's Eric.
Uncredited.
I think Eric sometimes sounds like Paul. I think it's really Eric.
Okay, well maybe. But I can definitely tell you when what you're talking about. I've always thought, and if you guys don't know what we're talking about, go listen to "Sweet and Dirty Love" and listen to the, you know,
it's like a pre-chorus. Like the pre-chorus.
It's off in the background too. It's not way up front.
Yeah.
And good love. You know that's basically all it said. But it sounds like Paul.
So I was reading the Vault book.
Right.
Because there's a Sweet and Dirty Love Part 2 in the Vault, right? And in the Vault book, Gene writes, Eric Singer told him that the riff sounded like Tie Your Mother Down. So Gene had to remind Eric that he wrote this before Brian wrote Tie Your Mother Down.
Oh,
so Brian must have copied him. Come on, dude, really?
That's pretty funny. And now that you mentioned it, and I haven't read the whole Vault book, but I'll have to check that out. That makes a lot of sense. It does sound like Tie Your Mother Down.
Yeah.
So this is one of the songs you like, Sweet and Dirty.
Oh yeah.
Sweet and Dirty Love. All right, so let's go on to the next one. The next song, Firestarter, obviously is a cover. And have you ever seen the video for that, Gene? Yeah, you're not Gene.
Yeah, I'm not Gene.
Sonny.
I have seen the video for it.
What do you think of the video?
Meh.
Really?
It was okay, yeah.
I love the fact that you got those hot girls all.
It's got nothing to do with it.
No, but I'll think that. What about the license plate original G?
Oh yeah, of
That's
course.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's clever. He is, he is the fire starter. Blah blah blah. I like his version. I like his grittiness. All my friends are messaging. Did Dallas win?
Dallas is tied right now.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta stop. All my friends are messaging me about the Dallas game. I thought that for sure it was over. I like this version. He made it his own. The music is pretty much the same thing. It feels a little heavier. I don't know if it's the same track. But Gene's singing it, with very Gene raspy, I like it. And you say?
The song's weird. It's like Gene's rapping. So I went and listened to the original. The original is absolutely brutal. Like if this was Gene's intent, go listen to The Prodigy. It didn't work because his version's a little bit better, but both songs are just bad. They're just bad. And Gene rapping doesn't work. I'm sorry.
No, I get it. But for this song, it's almost necessary. Somebody wrote, Joe, before you heard Gene's album, what did you expect in your head song-wise? I wasn't really sure. I think that if I had, it's a long time ago now, but if I had to go back, I was probably hoping or thinking that it was going to be 10 God of Thunders. And I probably was shocked when I heard, like I said, it's been a very long time, but I know from the beginning I've enjoyed it. So I was probably hoping, to get a hard rock, heavy metal Gene solo album, but I didn't get that. Let's see. Okay. I've heard the Prodigy version. It's all right. Weapons of Mass Destruction. How do you feel about that?
I like the happier, upbeat Gene. Like I like the Gene that's gonna eat you every way he can eat you, whether you're male or female. Like anything else Gene's singing about, I really just can't get into it. Like the vocals kind of whiny. The music's great. The guitar solo's great.
Yeah,
but the vocal melody completely turns me off.
Does Bruce play that on that
one?
Yeah,
Bruce is doing guitar and Eric's doing drums. I'll tell you, the best version of this song is the Ace version of Weapons Powers to Raise the Dead on the Vault, because Ace actually sells it a little bit better, and Ace changed it a little. It's still got that weird kind of grungy drop tune D whatever sound, but Ace sells a little better. But I've never liked this song, to be honest.
I like it. I think that I don't analyze it as much.
Because you're a homer.
No, I don't think that's what it's all
that's
about.
That's exactly what it is.
No, what I'm saying, I know I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is I'm not analyzing the whininess or anything. I think I go by, is it catchy? Does it have a
It's
hook?
not. It's not. There is one.
I like the chorus, and I like the riff is good. But I didn't realize, I haven't looked at my liner notes in a long time. I know that he had other guests on here,
Yeah. Oh yeah, tons.
I'm not sure which. In all honesty, I know one of them is written with him and Bob Dylan, correct?
That's the next one.
That's the next one. All right, let's go ahead and go on to that one then. Waiting for the Morning Light.
So Gene's super proud of being, having worked with Bob Dylan. I'll tell you, I don't always like the Beatlesque Gene, but this song works. This one's written well. If this didn't have the Gene Simmons moniker on it, it actually has a shot to be a hit. It's that good, right? You just got to hand it off to some pop teenager or pop like young adult or female and let them go with this, and I think they would do well with it. The Vault, it was interesting. They finished the song, but they hadn't written the final lyric. And he was, every time you would run into Bob Dylan, he was like, hey, you need to finish this lyric so we can finish the song. And I guess Bob Dylan used to call him Mr. Kiss. So, Mr. Kiss, you do it. Mr. Kiss, you do it. And I think it was important to Gene to be able to say to people, Bob Dylan helped me write this song. Like, he didn't want to be on the hook for it himself, kind of, right? It's
right.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's a, it's a dream. So it's like,
sure,
like,
I get it 100%.
Of course you want, I totally get it. But this song absolutely works for me. This is a good song.
I like it. It's I'll tell you what, I love his vocal in it, and I like when he's like, and I'm wide awake all through the night. He's almost straining to sing that one little spot, and I don't know why, man. I love it. I think that it really it shows like almost like a vulnerable side, to his vocal. Like Gene being the demon, easy. Gene singing something like this might be a little harder for him. So I agree. I really like that song. Beautiful. Is this the first song about a trans person?
Maybe. I don't know, because I don't think it's very good, so I couldn't get into it.
But it does talk about being like basically
just you be you. Yeah.
You be you, and they're talking about 6'4" and blah blah blah. He's describing a man who's getting ready to go out as a woman. And the first when years ago when I heard it, I was like, oh, it's like Lola, but not like Lola, but like Lola. But this is more of a you be you song. However, the subject matter is so I don't want to say strange, because it's not strange. It's just I wouldn't have expected Gene to sing about something like this. But he's got songs about his uncle's a raft.
Yeah, that's right. I'll tell you, first of all, this song's not written by him. It's written by some guy named Mark Addison and Nina Singh. So it's not one of his songs, right? But here's the problem with pop songs. If you're going to strip down and do pop songs, when it doesn't work, there's nothing saving it, right? Like a great riff can save a song. A great guitar solo can save a song. You don't have to be perfect in the melody. We know tons of rockers that don't have the perfect vocal laid down, but in a plugged in heavy riff, distorted guitar sound, you can hide some of that. When a pop song doesn't land, it just doesn't land. And this one doesn't land for me. But it's just like the Beatles for me. For every Beatles song I like, I can name 10 I don't.
I feel the same way. But here's the thing. The Beatles songs that I like, I really like.
Absolutely.
Okay, you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm with you.
The Beatles songs that I like, I really like them. If they just like all the Beatles records I own, besides my mom's, like my mom had the Beatles records. She had cut out Paul McCartney's face and made a necklace. That's for school.
Your mom had some issues.
Yeah, but but my understanding, maybe it wasn't his face. I think on the back of the record there was a heart that said, "I love Paul, I love John, I love George, I love Ringo," and my mom's is cut out Paul. So I'm wondering if she, she was, I don't know how old she was when the record came out, but let's say late middle school or high school. To me, that's got personality in the record. I really dig that, but like that's the Beatles albums that I've bought are the ones where they put them out by year, 67 to 75, 70, that kind of thing. It's like a greatest hits album. Let's see. Not the first trans song, Lola, the Genie. Oh, that's true. That's true. Let's see. So Jared Frank says both Beautiful and Asshole were both songs submitted by artists who wanted to be on Simmons records. And Gene just liked the songs and appropriated them for his album. Does that mean stole? If I recall correct.
No, they played on they played on the songs for his album because Asshole's the next song. So,
yeah. Okay, so Asshole's next. Who's this song about?
I'm assuming it's him, but here's the thing about this song. First of all, he didn't write it. Right. Second, it sounds like a poorly written Alice Cooper song. That's how dumb the lyrics are. And third, he's been pretending to be an asshole for 50 years. He can't write a song about being an asshole. Like, he is the king of it, right? Why is he appropriating somebody else's song? Like, I'm telling you, when Paul heard this song, this title track, Paul was like, yeah, Gene, go ahead. Release your own records. That shit ain't ever getting on a Kiss record. I can tell you that. This is why Paul votes against Gene songs.
Brad Rustoven said, the song Asshole is the living in sin of this album. Goofy backing vocals in both during and the choruses, sheep noises in the crying out. It's like,
and just as dumb as lyrics, living in sin at the Holiday Inn, just as stupid. Exactly.
Yeah. I could say that's probably my least favorite song out of all of them. On this is personal.
Yeah, and I get it. Okay, so this, now that you're gone. So let's talk about the song first, right? So that whole kid choir thing in the beginning and having it kind of throughout the song absolutely works. Would have fit the 78 solo album. We know, according to the Vault book, he'd been working on this in 77. I get all that. My issue isn't with a message. My issue isn't with Gene. My issue with these type of songs is, if you want to tell your dad to basically go to hell, I like it aggressive. I don't like it sad. And that's just my personal preference, right? So this is when, like, Rage Against the Machine works for me. Because it's like, all right, if you really hate something, then go be aggressive about how you say it. Versus kind of being sad, and there's times you've been hiding under your table because you're sad about it. It's like, if you're looking to tell them fuck off, then tell them fuck off. You know what I mean?
Right. No. Makes sense. I do like this song. To me, it's a little sadder. The aggressive, angry fuck off is different than because I think it kind of goes up and down. It kind of reminds me of Rocket Queen. You know, in Rocket Queen, how he's like a badass until, the end, and then in the end part of this Rocket Queen, he's, I got your back, kind of lovey. Anyway, I think that's how this song feels to me, where he's even in the one, I was your only son. At least he thought, I think, when they were. I'm just saying, he found out later, right, that he had brothers.
Yeah.
But not when his dad was gone. When he left, he was the only son.
Yeah.
So it's to me, it's a sad song. It's you want it to be more of a, screw you kind of thing. I get where that's coming from, and that would have been an interesting take. But I also like what it says, in the other one. Let's see. Whatever turns you on. I love this fucking song, man. Whatever turns you on turns me on. Hey, woo! The girls singing in the background, don't deny it. It slaps.
Yeah. This is one of the better songs on the record, right? Because it's got that R&B feel. The whole feel of the song is like they wrote it at a party, right? And it just kind of
yeah.
If you listen to the Vault version, it's almost Sugar Ray. The Vault version is almost like a Sugar Ray song.
And the coolest part is that what you just described, where like they wrote it at a party, it almost sounds like somebody went, "Hey, hit record. Let's just
That's right.
do this."
Yeah.
Because it is a fun song, and I love the backing vocal girls, with all their like and no's. That is great, and it really. But see, this is something that I do not believe Paul Stanley could have ever written. Agree or no?
Agree, because it's too fun. It's just too fun.
It's too fun. Yeah. So, all right. So, answer me this though. Now, so far we've been we're at what, track 5?
No, we're on track. We just talked about track 8.
8. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, track 8. So, out of the 8 so far, there's been 4 that you've said are good.
3.
3. Okay, 3 so far. Dog.
I like that the guitar's a little grittier. You know, the talking Gene is back. The song's a little cheesy, but at least it's fun, I guess. You know, the same guy who wrote Stanley the Parrot, like, you know, whatever. But it's not, the song's not great, but it's okay.
So I can tell you that it's probably my second least favorite after Asshole. It doesn't like stick in my head. Like I can start singing all these other ones. Dog doesn't like hook me like the others. Let's see. According to Jared, let's see. Jared Frank says, now that you're gone, a Bob Kulick co-write. I know I've heard him talk about it, but I don't remember what the story was behind it. And then he says that Shannon and her sister did the background vocals. I don't know, man. Is that true?
Yeah. So Sophie did the background vocals on Now That You're Gone, and then on Whatever Turns You On, it was Louise Tweed. Yeah, Shannon's sister.
Oh, interesting.
And Shannon was one of the people talking.
Okay. I never read that. All right. Black Tongue. Top 2 for me.
This stupid rocker
Uh-huh.
absolutely hates everything Zappa.
Okay.
I do not understand anything of why people like Frank Zappa. This song is complete shit. I don't understand why people like Zappa. I just don't get it.
Okay, so
give me Warrant anytime.
Warrant over. Okay, so this is what I can tell you. I'm not a Zappa guy. I am a Steve Vai guy.
I am too, and the stuff he did with Zappa, I don't like either.
Right, I'm the same way. Let's see, but I found this little on Reddit. I found this little article about this song, and it's very interesting. You know the history, right, Sonny?
No.
Okay, so this is what it says. Frank Zappa and Gene Simmons share co-writing credit on Black Tongue, and the Zappa family, Dweezil, Ahmet, Moon, Gail, and Frank himself sing and play guitar on this song. Now, obviously, Frank was already gone. It says one of the album's most memorable tracks, Black Tongue, I guess it says definitely. It's really reconfigures the Zappa song, basically. So the story is Gene Simmons, he's always admired Frank Zappa. Zappa invited him over to the house right before his unfortunate passing. He was they had a real heart-to-heart conversation. He showed Gene his library of tapes and stuff. When Gene had the opportunity to do his own solo album, he contacted the family and said, is there a riff or something that I can have that we can use? Now, it doesn't say it all complete in this article, but my understanding was, Frank had to get credit. And I believe that what I read was that is Dweezil playing guitar on the record. And when you listen to it, listen to the tone, man. It's very Steve Vai tone, which I think is more, I guess, Frank Zappa tone, because I'm guessing that's where Vai got a lot of his influence. Yeah?
Yeah, so Dweezil's playing lead guitar, but it's Kotzen that's doing the rhythm.
Kotzen's doing the rhythm.
Yeah.
I love this song. I love that I love.
Of course you do, because you're a homer.
No,
of course you do, because you're a homer.
No, but see, it's very different compared to the rest of the record.
Yeah,
you know, it's just not my. That's just different. I like it. Let's see. What's next? I had to go away to. Oh, one of the things that I wanted to read was that here's the article was interesting, but the comments that people like a couple people did comments, right? All right, so I wanted to read the comments because they were as entertaining as anything. It says. This is somebody wrote this. This is pretty much worthless garbage. Even the Grand Funk album Zappa produced is better, and that thing is terrible. And then somebody wrote, I don't know, I like that album. I've only heard it once, but still, it was decent. This song, though, well, maybe I'm biased because I know Gene Simmons is an asshole, and I already thought Kiss was the most boring rock band in the world. Okay, all right. So look, and yes, I'm a homer, and maybe you could say untalented, but boring. I can't label with him with that. Can you label him with boring?
It depends on if you've never seen him visually. If all you've ever heard is the music, depending on what you heard, yeah, you could probably label him boring. Okay, if you don't make the connection with the visual.
All right. Now, so these comments were left as far back as 8 years ago. Okay. So here's the comment that made me like, and for those of you that might have children in the room, I understand that I said asshole like 800 times. Cover their ears right now. Look at them and go, earmuffs. I'm going to give you fair warning. 3, 2, this isn't the end of the show. 3, 2, 1. This is the comment that made me giggle. It says, what else do you expect when a lame tone deaf cunt like Gene Simmons Wow.
When people don't like somebody, that's how it is.
They just don't like them. What the hell?
Yeah.
That's awful. Just for the record, the person that did that comment deleted their name. It says deleted.
Of course they did. Yeah.
Because they probably caught a lot of shit. There's a lot more comments, but it says like, damn, this is bad, real bad. But I disagree. I enjoy it. Let's see. That was Black Carnivals.
I just don't like the grunge, right? Round and round and round. Like the chorus is not great. And the sad part about it is I absolutely love Richie Kotzen. He plays guitar on this too. God, I wish they would have done something like Whatever Turns You On. The two of them doing something like that where Richie's like soulful playing, it would have been awesome. But instead they got this shit.
Yeah. I'm not going to say I hate it. It's not my favorite. It's, it's a take it or leave it kind of thing. Of
course you're not going to say you hate it. You're a homer.
Okay, whatever. Let's see. If I Had a Gun.
Okay, that beginning is bad. And then it kind of kicks in, gets to Gene's bang zone a little bit, but the song's just not written well. Gene can't sell stuff like this. Like, sing fun stuff. This is not fun to me.
Too serious.
Yeah. I want the fun Gene.
Okay. No, I agree. I really like the fun Gene too. I get that, but yeah, I agree with you. Last song on the record, 1,000 Dreams. I don't know who he wrote this song about. I'm imagining it's somebody that he loved a lot.
Heaven forbid we don't end the album with a goddamn Disney type song. This thing is so bad.
It is like a Disney song.
It's like a bad Jimmy Buffett. It is like a Jimmy Buffett song. Disney song. It's so bad. There's no reason to ever listen to this song again. And I cannot imagine anybody but you likes this song. Like, it's so bad.
Oh, I don't know. I think there's other people on here that like it.
That are homers like you.
I'm not a homer. For the next 5 shows, all I'm going to do is trash this fucking band so I can get out of the Homer does.
I love the band, and there were some good things on here, but I would take 13 Waiting for the Morning Light. I would take 13 Sweet and Dirty Loves. I'd take 13 Whatever Turns You On.
Joe Liscon. Thank you.
Well,
he likes
Joe,
it.
Then you might be a homer too.
He has more Kiss stuff in his house than I do. He has 2 Kiss pinball machines. And they don't play different songs. Oh, I'm just kidding. His wife just had surgery. She's amazing. And I called him today and talked to them. They're doing great. I'm so happy. Let's see. He, by the way, outkicked his coverage with his wife. He knows it, though.
Well, Dallas just lost.
You're kidding.
Overtime.
Wow, that is... I'm shocked right now. I came downstairs.
Hard to win in Lambeau. Hard to win in Lambeau.
I had it in hand when I came downstairs. All right, so all in all, you give this record a 2 out of 5, a 1 out of 5. What do you give it?
I'm like a 1.5 out of 5. I will tell you. So here, let me really piss some people off. It is better than Space Invader and Anomaly.
What? I can't.
And I still give it a 1.5 out of 5 because I can't find 3 songs I like on those 2 albums put together.
Wow.
But like Live to Win absolutely smashes this record.
Right. No, it does. It does. But Paul Stanley, he's out of his comfort zone with Soul Station.
The Soul Station record's way better than this.
You think so?
I think so, yes.
But most of the songs he didn't write. Of course,
that's
it's great.
Yeah,
they're hits from when our parents were kids.
Yeah.
So it's easy to put out if all I did was pick the hits from other people and re-record them, it's going to be good.
Well, you could pick the songs from The Prodigy and really just bore some people.
That is a heck of a good point, sir. All right, so here's the deal. We had a good time talking about this. If I had to grade the album, I probably would give it 3.5 stars. To get 5 from me, it has to be Appetite for Destruction, Master of Puppets, something like that. Those are perfect albums from beginning to end. I enjoy more songs on this record than Sonny does, and I also give you a star for taking a risk. That's one of the things. You didn't do what was easy. You did what you wanted to do, and it was going to be hard. Also, it's kind of interesting because it's like Paul is inspired and influenced by a lot of Motown, and I know that he rips off riffs. You know what I mean? You could go online and find the comparison, but you won't find any riffs on there that make you go, well, that sounds like Motown. Do you? You ever heard a Kiss song that you went, oh, that's like Motown?
No, but I'm sure if I listen close enough, people are always inspired by other things. Like there was a song on here. Let me see if I remember which one it was. Oh yeah. Weapons of Mass Destruction. In the Vault book, Gene wrote that it was he was listening to Marilyn Manson. First of all, why the hell are you listening to Marilyn Manson? He was listening to Marilyn Manson, and it was a riff inspired from the record he was listening to, right? So, but saying the whole Motown thing, if I had a choice to listen to just Motown or listen to the Cranberries, the Beatles, I don't know, all those weird bands that came from that, I don't know if you call it folk, I don't know if you call it pop, I don't call it acid pop, I don't know what you call it. Give me Motown every day of the week. Like, I love some of the Motown. So I think when Paul writes a song, I'm more in tune to it because I like most of his influences and I don't always like all of Gene's influences.
Got ya. This makes perfect sense. And this is the cool thing about, but this is interesting because this album makes more of an interesting show than just talking about Paul Stanley's Live to Win record. Live to Win, it's going to be harder for us to go, oh, I like that, or I don't like, or I don't, to say I don't like that. You know, you will get a couple of those, but not like you would with this, where everybody, you see what I'm saying? This album, it's just a little more artsy.
Yeah, which is fine. And I don't have to like it. And
sure,
he doesn't have to care that I don't like it because I still bought it because it said Gene Simmons on it, right? So I still bought it.
Yeah.
Because in the end, a Homer too at some point.
Yeah, it has old ladies in their underwear on the cover, and some hot ones and some old ones. And Joe Lascon gave it a 3 out of 5. Brad Rustoven gave it a 3 out of 5. They're both smart. Robert Dunning gave it a 5. Poor Sonny.
I disagree. I disagree with all three.
Sonny gave it a 1.5. All right, so
and that was being nice.
This was a fun show. I miss the other. I miss Lee and I miss Joey. They'll be back. So here's the thing. I've decided that the 400th show to come out on Christmas Eve. Okay, so because Thanksgiving weekend we're going to take off. So So no show Thanksgiving weekend. We will be together next weekend. Thanksgiving weekend, we'll take the week off. And then a few weeks later, it'll be Christmas weekend. And for Christmas Eve, we'll release the show. So you guys, while you're doing whatever you do on Christmas Eve, I'm not going to say that out loud. Maybe you could put the show on and listen to us argue, and Sonny and Joey can bicker back and forth. I don't think that it won't be live, I don't think, just because it's Christmas Eve, you know. But if anybody wants to if the guys want to get together on Christmas Eve, we'll do that. It's still in discussions, and we're trying to find guests too. We'll see what happens. Sonny, do you have anything to add?
No, thanks for listening. I don't know. I guess if you like this record, good for you. I don't understand why, and I don't have to understand why. So there you go. The other two probably would have loved this record because they're both homers. So there you go.
I don't know. We're going to ask them next week. You know what I'm going to say? We love Kiss, and we love Kiss podcasts. Some of them. And you're going to hear all the commercials. You're really not. Like, here's the thing. On the live version, I don't really play the commercials. When you're listening to the version on iTunes or Google or anywhere else, Amazon, we're on iHeartRadio, we're on Spotify, just about wherever you're listening, you're going to hear the commercials for all the ones that we love right after this. In 3, 2, 1, peace.
Peace.